Well, we're now on the Chardonnay, 2007. Chardonnay, of course, is difficult to sell these days. You know, we're going through a period, 2009, when we're recording this, when people seem to be off Chardonnay. Having said that, I've always thought that New Zealand Chardonnay is actually one of the best Chardonnays in the world because of the acidity that you get in it, rather than the big blousy offerings you sometimes get from Australia. No, I don't want to be too unfair on Australia. There's a very nice Chardonnay made there. But I know that you know, one or two of us in the company feel this is probably the favourite wine of the range. So you first planted Chardonnay when, early on?
Yeah, very early on in the piece, so in the early 80s. So going back, the first wine was 1988, if my memory serves me correctly. And it's always been a big part of what we've been doing. We've always been very fond of Chardonnay, and as you've said, it's one of the great food wines and great white wines of the world in terms of its makeup. So it's been a big part of what we've been doing. We drink quite a lot of white Burgundy and red Burgundy at work, and we're not in any way, shape or form saying that is Burgundy, but we like the structure of those wines and the way they're put together.
Well, I think the one thing you can say about sort of New Zealand Chardonnay is a lot more consistent than Chardonnays from Burgundy. I mean, there's no doubt when you get good Burgundy, it's a great drink, but there's a lot of bad stuff around. And I think probably it's one of the stamps on New World generally is consistency. I know that the New World hate it when we say, well, you know, the weather's always good, you always make a nice one every year, there's no vintage variation. That I know is nonsense. Of course it's not true. I realise that. But I do think, you know, there is more consistency in a way with the winemaking in the New World than there possibly is in France. There's probably better controls as well.
And we're, again, as I was talking about the other Sauvignon we make to cocoa, wild fermentation or uninoculated fermentation is a massive part of what we do with all of our wines, apart from this one here, the Sauvignon. But wild fermentation really gives you a lot of extra savoury complexity that builds into the wine over time. Quite often the fermentations will smell incredibly sort of funky and almost a little bit feral to begin with. But over time, those characters marry back into the wine and leave almost a fingerprint of those kind of characters subtly remaining in there. And we don't want to make a Chardonnay that's all about simple fruitiness. Chardonnay is really about complexity and texture. And this wine does have very pretty fruit, but it's backed up with a serious bit of complexity through proper wine.
So what sort of smells? And obviously it's a very bready sort of smell, isn't there, that you get from that? Not dissimilar from the smell you got from one of the sparkling wines. That we tried earlier.
So I get a lot of nice ripe citrus character, again some great fruity characters, sort of light stone fruit characters. As you said, there's lots of mealiness. You get sort of a linseedy character, nice nuttiness coming through.
Nuttiness.
And I think on the palate there's lots of lively acid there. It's not too tight and austere, but that acid gives the wine some focus, and it needs that because it's quite a textural wine. It's got a lot of richness and weight, but that weight is focused and balanced, and I think it's a pretty expression of Chardonnay.
It's absolutely delicious wine, there's no doubt about that. Well done.
Thanks.
Thank you.